I'm going to attempt a quick tutorial on blood vessels found on the torso model. It's going to be a little bit challenging because in order to keep the camera in focus, I'm going to have to reach from far distance, so I'll do my best. Alright, so first, right here in this region, of course, the heart would be found here, and we would have the aortic arch. And off the aortic arch, the first branch is the brachiocephalic trunk, then the carotid, the left common carotid specifically, and then the left subclavian. So the way I remember that is A, B, C's. A for aortic arch, B for brachiocephalic trunk, and then C for common carotid, and then S for subclavian. So here you're seeing the right common carotid and right subclavian. They would have come off of the brachiocephalic trunk. Here is the left common carotid. It's going all the way up, and then back here you can see where it's branching into the external carotid and internal carotid. The internal carotid, of course, going up into the brain. Back down here you can see the left subclavian artery, and then in the axillary fossa, once it crosses the clavicle, it would be called the axillary artery, so it's not shown here because it would be deep to the axillary vein. And then out here in the arm, it would be called the brachial artery. This vessel right here that you're seeing descending, this is the thoracic aorta. It would then turn into the abdominal aorta once it gets into the abdominal region, once it passes the diaphragm. This is the first branch off of the abdominal aorta. It's called the celiac trunk. This branch right here off of it that would go to the stomach right here, which is missing right now. This is the gastric artery. This vessel that goes up to the spleen is the splenic artery. And then this vessel right here, which would continue on to the liver, is the hepatic artery. The next branches that you would see on another model that I'll show you would be the superior mesenteric artery, followed by the suprarenal arteries, and then the renal arteries, and then the inferior mesenteric, gonadal, and then inferior mesenteric arteries. Down here, I can't take this off, so down here, what you're seeing coming down this way through the inguinal canal, these vessels right here are the gonadal vessels, the gonadal arteries. Specifically, these are testicular arteries. Now, why do I know that? Well, because this is a male model whose penis has been cut off, and the gonadal arteries go through the inguinal canal on the male, but they do not do that on the female. Here you're seeing the abdominal aorta bifurcate into the right common iliac and left common iliac, and then the common iliacs are going to branch into an internal iliac artery right here, and then an external iliac artery. And once the external crosses the inguinal ligament and it's on the anterior portion of the thigh, it's called the femoral artery. And in here, of course, you're seeing the sacral artery. Now for the veins, here is the femoral vein, crosses the inguinal canal, then it turns into the external iliac, and the external iliac is going to merge with the internal iliac, and once they merge together, they are forming the common iliac veins, and then they would form the inferior vena cava, which can be tagged in the abdominal region, as well as it can be tagged in the thoracic region, not shown on this model. Running along the back side of the chest wall, if you see all the lungs pushed over and a large vein running along the posterior aspect of the chest, that's the azygos vein. Up here you're seeing a portion of the superior vena cava. It is formed by the right and left brachiocephalic veins, and the brachiocephalic veins are formed by the jugular vein and subclavian vein. On this side, the jugular vein has been cut, and you can see the right subclavian vein here.